what's up, folks? Sorry, I was just recapping on the PlayStation State of Play. Hey, Ratchet, what's up? Anyways, yeah, that State of Play should be easy to say. It was the best presentation of 2026 so far. Definitely better than Nintendo's partner showcase. I mean, to be fair, it was just third parties, but yeah, that Nintendo showcase was not necessary. If it was a general direct, it would have been a different outcome. And definitely better than the Xbox direct showcase. There was absolutely a lot of things that were announced. And it's not just first party games, but even third parties. And yeah, if you know me, yeah, I am very much excited for most of what was shown at the State of Play. Starting off with the God of War trilogy remake. So I think it was a no-brainer. Sony is still on that remake train going on. And since there's still no technically like a way for them to re-release the original trilogy or re-release the God of War Master Collection or something like that. It was like a big 5 games back on the PS3, if anybody remembers that. Yeah, of course, there was no way for them to do that. So, hey, let's just remake the entire game. Now, right off the bat, I'm just going to say, while I am very, very much looking forward to the remake, but for a remake, there's definitely going to be some changes. And, let's say, censorship. Which is going to be pretty sad. I mean, unless Santa Monica really doesn't hold anything back. And you have to remember, this is not... The Santa Monica of today is not the same Santa Monica of the past. That being said, expect some changes, censorships, I guess. But if they can at least stay true to the original, I'm fine with it. Now, in terms of censorship, it would be ridiculous considering, 1, it's Greek mythology. 2, everybody knows Greek mythology has no shame of nudes. And 3, yeah, if they cover up the nudes, trust me, people are going to backlash on the Santa Monica. You'll see it on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube. Everybody will start hating on Santa Monica. I'm calling it now. Once they see Medusa wearing a bra, or that the cutscenes. Think about it. If you ever remember all of the cutscenes on basically the entire trilogy of God of War, most of the ladies were nudes. Literally right off the bat, the first instance where you see ladies topless in God of War 1, it's right after you kill the Hydra, finish the first stage, where Kratos was banging 2 ladies as a means of coping, trying to forget his past or something. God of War 2, you see the first moment you see topless ladies is when, right somewhere in between when Kratos is like going around trying to take down the Colossus. There's like these curtains that you can break down. Not curtains, like walls. And then there's 2 ladies on a hot spring and ready to get busy. And then God of War 3, I think it might have been Medusa. And then on top, but aside of Medusa, there's also the moment where Kratos makes out with Aphrodite. And overall, I think that's like one of the biggest things that I'm sure a lot of people are hoping that they keep in the remake is the sex minigame from literally those nude ladies I mentioned. And yes, when Kratos bangs Aphrodite, which by the way, that means it's a bit of incest because you have to remember Kratos, son of Zeus, and Aphrodite as well. But there's also, and then in God of War 1, the Oracle, she does wear clothing, but it's so see-through you can literally see, well, everything. Well, don't worry, except for the bottom. Obviously that gets covered, but it's always the top part. But, geez, you would it's crazy to think that that was allowed back then. And what did I think when I first saw that? Yeah, I thought that was like, whoa, big titties and okay, sex minigame. I got to do it because when you do it once, you're rewarded with red orbs, the thing that you need to level up, upgrade your stuff. I mean, it's not necessary, but it was a gag. And yeah, hopefully they don't, Santa Monica of today doesn't censor that, because otherwise you pretty much take away what made the original, humorous. If you kind of think about it, the sex minigame and the nudity is kind of part of Greek mythology. Kind of. I've seen a lot of movies, TV shows with Greek mythology, and there's always a topless woman. And if Santa Monica of today can't even face that, they pretty much disgrace the franchise. In fact, they might as well just give up on the remake if they're too afraid to do that. And if the ESRB rating is gonna complain about that, hey, the ESRB rating of today is nothing compared to the past. And there's something called A rating. Yeah, ESRB made that. Just make God of War A rating and we're good to go. But that aside, it's gonna be interesting how long it's gonna take for them to remake the entire trilogy. Considering if you know how long each game lasts. I would say, from my history, like God of War 3, God of War 3, if you know where you're going, where all the upgrades are, it should only last you 5 hours to get through. First time, it would be almost the same length time as anybody playing a new Resident Evil game for the first time, which is like 10 hours. So if we put the math together, that should be at least, let's say, 30 hours in length, which is a fair hour. In fact, like, I think even RPG games would last that long, right? If not longer, like FF7. So, but yeah, if Santa Monica can pull it off without tarnishing the original, well, I can say, all I can say is just good luck to them, and pray that, yeah, they don't hold back any strings whatsoever. And speaking of boobies, yeah, Dead or Alive has returned. Once upon a time, Dead or Alive 6 came out. Only got 1 year support. Very little DLCs. Shitty DLC practices. Season passes. A free-to-play version. All that in the span of 1 year. And then it died. Or now we could say it was just put on hibernation. Hiatus. Whatever you want to call it. And suddenly, Team Ninja was like, yeah, we've made so many successful games, success with Neo and some of the Warriors games that we co-developed. It's finally time for the 30th anniversary we bring back the franchise. Now, it's still too soon to say, because, yes, they are re-releasing, Dead or Alive 6 as last round. And yes, it's the same name as the last game, the previous entry, Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. But if you need a little quick history, Dead or Alive 5, if you remember, Dead or Alive 5 got re-released so many times. It was initially launched on the PS3 360, and then there was a Plus edition for the PS Vita, which I played, and believe it or not, it was not 60 frames, but man, like the Vita, being able to play Dead or Alive 5 on the Vita is like interesting. And then there was Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate, and which was still on the same console of that generation. And then Last Round. And then Last Round was the first time where Team Ninja wanted to release the game in two ways. One was you buy the full game, or you get the free to play version. And believe it or not, the free to play version got before Dead or Alive 6 was announced, it got over 8 million downloads. And apparently each milestone they would like offer like some free stuff or something like that. Dead or Alive 6 did the same thing. When the game came out, there was a free to play version. And I think it was dubbed as Core Fighters. And yes, that is still there. You can still play Dead or Alive 5 and 6 Core Fighters, which are, again, free-to-play versions. So, with the announcement of Last Round, I guess it's safe to say that you can try Core Fighters now at this point, yeah. But as you saw from the trailer, I mean, just like with every re-release fighting game, I mean, Capcom has done that too as well. Yeah, Core Fighters will most likely have like balance changes, buffs, nerfs, all that sort. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect in terms of that. And yeah, but what I do expect for this re-release, this new updated version, is that they're going to bring back certain game modes that was missing from the original, such as like Tag Team. Tag Team was in 5, if you remember. Somehow, Dead or Alive 6 didn't bring that. And I don't know what else would they would do. I imagine. I mean, yeah, they also did say there was going to be like new characters and more costumes, of course. So that I'm pretty much looking forward to seeing. But if you recall, because when they were showing off the Dead or Alive 6 trailer, they did say that all the DLC characters will be available in the Last Round, which is a good thing, which means you don't have to double dip whatsoever. But you should notice that 2 SNK characters were not shown when they were making that shout out about DLC characters. I think that's going to be Mai Shiranui and Kula Diamond. They were the DLC characters in Dead or Alive 6. My guess is maybe those characters will be double dipped, or if not, maybe if you still purchase the PS4 version, or Xbox One version, maybe they'll allow you to just download for free. I feel like they did that before. I remember transitioning from Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate and then Last Round, and I think I downloaded the DLC characters for free, or maybe I'm mistaken that with another fighting game. But yeah. At the very least, though, like I said, or as they said, more characters are on the way, which is nice. And who will be in there? I can imagine at least a few male characters for sure. But mostly, what I think, they're going to add in characters from Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation. Yeah, remember that game? Because if you remember, one of the characters from that spin-off is in Dead or Alive 6 as DLC. I think her name was Tamaki, the one with the she has like a tur- dark turquoise hair color. And yes, in case you haven't seen Dead or Alive Extreme Venusification in a while, let's just say the game has gotten so many ladies, and one of them apparently is an oni, like the red hair, red hair oni. Yeah, and Dead or Alive is no stranger to including like mythical characters like Neo Tengu. And I would be happy if they brought back what's her name? Naotora from Samurai Warriors. She was like one of the most surprising additions. A surprising and a welcoming one. Because people had joked about how in Samurai Warriors she would like just she's like she doesn't wield like a sword or spear like most Samurai Warrior characters do. She just kicks. And Kazumi also kicks too. Like that's like one of her most excelled move sets. So then, yeah, that happened. I actually, yeah, that's one character I hope to see in make a return to Dead or Alive 6. Yes, even if it means having to purchase the same character, but you know, hey, that hasn't stopped Bandai Namco and Capcom, has it? Instead of, you know, having those characters in the base game available, nah, you're gonna spend money on Anna Williams again. So, yeah, I now I get it, but it still stings. I imagine if they could, they might bring back Virtua Fighter characters. As you may already know, Dead or Alive 5 had the first guest characters they had initially, not as DLC, was the Virtua Fighter characters. And it made sense because if you know the history, Dead or Alive, when it was in development, they licensed Sega's Virtua Fighters code engine as a foundation to create Dead or Alive. And when you put the game side to side, they literally have the same, almost the exact same gameplay. Even the controls are exactly the same. Hold, guard, punch, kick. That's it. And yeah, the move, if you know the move sets of those of the Virtual Fighter characters, then yeah, they play pretty much the same as they do in Dead or Alive 5. But yeah, it would be nice if they showed up as well in 6. Especially when knowing that Sega is in the works on a new Virtual Fighter game. And funny thing I should say, because I don't think I was the only one. I'm sure everybody had that gut feeling. When Sega announced or revealed that they were working on a new Virtua Fighter, deep down, like a long time ago when it was first revealed, deep down, I was like, okay, Sega got Virtua Fighter back. Team Ninja's gonna do the same. It took 2 years after that to happen. But yeah, it was inevitable. Plus, I think the timing is just right. I mean, Tekken being the only 3D fighting game. Soul Calibur could have been there, but Bandai Namco just pretty much ditched it again. So, you know, Bandai Namco can't have all the fun. Sega's gonna jump. Sega already jumped in, and now look, Team Ninja, Team Ninja's joining the ring for bringing back 3D fighting games. Hey, who knows if the 3D fighting game genre grows, maybe Bandai Namco could reconsider Soul Calibur. But you know, make sure it gets the same love and support as Tekken did. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they will do for that. Plus Dead or Alive 7. Except we don't know if it's 7-7. Like, it could... I guess it might as well just be Dead or Alive 7, because part of me feels like it could be a reboot. Because I remember that was a rumor, which got debunked. But, nah, I think it would be I think it's a sequel. They can't just restart the story after... I mean, especially the fact that they're re-releasing 6. And 6 will still include the story mode. So, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. And they as they showed in the trailer, they just recently started development. So, I bet it's going to come out 2027. Yeah, it sucks, but hey, this is why Dead or Alive 6 last round is happening. It's a way to bring back and introduce Dead or Alive to returning and new players. But now with like the game being revamped, new content and all that sort. And it's that same strategy, you know, re-release a game with new updates, new content to get people hyped up for the next installment. You always follow up. Usually game developers do that as a strategy. Follow up, announce a return of an old game or of the recent entry, and then follow up with an announcement for like a new entry. And yeah, it works. I mean, I guess in a way, Resident Evil kind of built up on that, didn't it? The remake of 2 and 4, and then now Leon is in RE9. It's all a build up. Yeah, it would have been nice if we got RE6 remake, but we don't even have 5 yet. What else was at the state of play? We got a John Wick game. Looks interesting. We didn't get raw gameplay, but looks interesting. That's all I'll say. Hang on. I think I had a post. I was just watching the thing. And I need the state of play. Somehow it's slipping out of my mind. Oh yeah, that's right, Konami. No RE9 demo. Like, yeah, I was expecting it. I think a lot of people were expecting it, but what the heck is Capcom doing? Do they not have confidence in their newest game? That's not a good sign. I mean, I'm sure it's still going to be a great installment to installment, but it's kind of weird. 7 had a demo, 2 demos, very interesting ones, and 8 had a demo. I don't know what. And the 2 remake, 4 remake had a demo, 3 remake had a demo, and 3 remake was even developed by Capcom. That was M2. So why is RE9 not getting a demo? You know what I think? They're gonna release a demo 1 week after the game comes out. And you know what that entails? Because if Capcom does that, if Capcom releases a demo 1 week or even 2 weeks after the game comes out, it then should be safe to assume that means Capcom probably did not have confidence. They would release a demo once the numbers come in. Like, how many units did they sell in the weekend and then in the first week? And if the numbers look good, then they will release a demo. And mind you, Resident Evil 9 is a $100 price game. At least, yeah, in Canada. Or if you're in the States, it would be like, what, $79.99? I think that's another case. Capcom knows it's a full price game, very high, and they don't want a demo to tarnish the people's expectation, people's impression. Like, if they don't like the game, they're not gonna buy it, or they're gonna be like, the demos was okay, but I'll wait until the game gets a discount or something. Maybe that's what Capcom just doesn't want people to go through. They don't want to give out a demo to give people that first impression. Like, to all the people who are going to be doubters, or people, like I said, who are just going to hold off and say, yeah, I like the game, but I don't want to buy it now. I'll buy it when it's at a fair price, affordable price. And that's not how business works, guys. Resident Evil 9 will not succeed that way. It will only succeed when you buy the game sooner rather than later. And in Capcom's case, they they want people to buy the game before the end of March. Because you know what's coming at the end of March? The end of the fiscal year. It's when all companies do their yearly reports and then basically count how many units each game sold. And then, at least in the Japanese company, they then reflect on their ups, their downs, but mostly their ups, and then, you know, they leave out a comment and be like, you know, we're already working on this project, that project, so expect that, whatever. But if they don't mention like any franchise in that comment, then that's a sign of failure. It's a sign of a setback. So let's say if RE9 does not meet the numbers, and I trust me, it's going to meet the numbers, but I'm just saying, if it doesn't reach the numbers that Capcom is, or I guess Capcom investors are pleased with, then Capcom is going to take a slap on the wrist, but there's a number that they are expecting RE9 to sell, and they don't want a demo to be published. Otherwise, it's going to damage the numbers to all the people who are doubting, who play a demo and then doubt it or wait for a discount sale. At least that's my guess, my analogy. Why there is no demo for RE9. It's like they have confidence that the game will sell, but no confidence if they were to put out a demo. So it sucks, but this is why people have to look from a different angle, a different perspective. Like, as much as a lot of selfish gamers would wish that there was an RE9 demo, but there's always a reason behind it. You have to pretend, be in the shoes of some Capcom employee. Like, I'm sure they wish they could release a demo, but the other side of Capcom dev teams are like, no, we can't. Otherwise, sale numbers will drop. But if it was something like Street Fighter 6 was like one exception. Remember, that game had a beta and then a demo that you can play. That was Capcom having good faith in returning to the fighting game scene. Anyways, what else was there? I mentioned Konami. Yeah, Konami. They're back on the grid. I mean, as they should be. Back to making a bunch of games. Excuse me. Whoa. Whether it's in-house development or a game is being outsourced, dude, Konami, they're finally embracing what they used to be back then. They're finally facing the music of being game developers. We got Silent Hill Townfall, a first-person Silent Hill, no less. I'm looking forward to that. There's a new freaking Castlevania game. Wow. After a bunch of collections leading up to a new entry. And then Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, as everybody had already known because of the leaks that happened in Korea, that Master Collection 2 was happening, and then Konami basically said, yeah, there is a works on Volume 2, and yep, they did it. They got Metal Gear Solid 4 out of the PS3 prison. Like, wow. Think about it. Metal Gear Solid 4 was on PlayStation 3 since 2007? I think it was 2007, wasn't it? Let's see, hold on. When did Metal Gear come out? Metal Gear Solid 4 release date was 2008, never mind. 2008. 2008 was when the year when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. While most of the Metal Gear classic games got HD re-releases, 4 was the only one that never got any re-release. But we finally are getting it. Now don't get too all excited about it. Like, sure, it's an old game that's finally being released outside of PS3, but for those who have played or know MGS4, I can't call it a spoiler, can I? Because everybody already knows this. MGS4 is more, as a lot of people joke about it, say it's 70% cutscene, 30% gameplay. So yeah, don't expect too much gameplay. But at least it's very entertaining. And then suddenly Peace Walker is in that collection too. I don't know why. But you could already play Peace Walker on the Xbox right now. Like, I think there's like backwards compatibility on that one. But sure, why not? I mean, that's for the Xbox. But, you know, Peace Walker being re-released on Switch and then PlayStation 5. Yeah. It's like a Uno reverse kind of thing. Metal Gear Solid 4 finally being released on Xbox and Nintendo and PC. And then Peace Walker, it was a PSP game, and then it got an HD release on Xbox, PS3. But then, you know, there was no backwards compatibility on PS3 games, so the only way you could play Peace Walker now is on the Xbox consoles with backwards compatibility. But with the collection, it's like, okay, now it's no longer Xbox PSP exclusive. Now everybody gets to play Peace Walker. Although I'm kind of curious how they're going to implement the multiplayer. I guess that's why the collection only has 2 games. We have... Oh, yes, Marvel Tokon. I'll just talk about Tokon and then start playing. Marvel Tokon. So, yep. Thanks to this leak on Steam, 20 characters has been confirmed. And then right off the bat, there's already a year 1 season pass. With 4 new characters, 1 new stage. And Arc System Works has now laid the grounds on how they're going to showcase all the characters. So, since it's a team of 4 times 5, 20, so there's 5 teams in there. Oh, and we also got a release date. Which is August 6th. Hang on a second. And it's gonna miss the Evo event. Excuse me. Although I imagine Arc System Works is gonna bring like a demo, but yeah, Tokon's gonna be released after Evo. A little unfortunate, but Hey, it was already decided anyways, right? Like, Evo already announced 12 games to be at as the part of the main stage. So even if Marvel Tokon came out beforehand, obviously Evo wouldn't change that. So might as well wait until Marvel Tokon take the scenes at Evo next year. But yeah, August 6th sounds like a reasonable release date. X-Men, Avengers, Streets Heroes, Master of Evil, and Midnight Suns. Yeah, that sounds about right. Wonder who's gonna be in the Master of Evils. aside of Doom, we already know. It was pretty obvious Wolverine was gonna be in there. Arc System Work knows the assignment. If you're gonna make a fighting game, Marvel fighting game, you gotta bring in Wolverine. And yes, Steve Blum continues to voice him. Because Steve Blum is Wolverine. So, get ready for the next couple of months before release. We're going to see who's in and who's not in for now. And considering that they're calling it year one for the DLC, yeah, I think Arc System Work is going to be working on this game on Marvel Tokon for God knows how many years to come. If you know your Marvel Comics, video game, cartoon lore, you know who are the Masters of Evil. I don't know. I am too old. I don't read comics. I've only played Marvel. I only get the Marvel lore from either the movies or the video games. Or I could just simply Google and find out who the list of Masters of Evils are. Oh, there's a couple of them. But yeah, only 4 can get in for now. But yeah, Marvel Tokon's gonna get years of support. It's guaranteed. Ultimate Alliance. Oh yeah, there's that game too. So yeah, I'm really hoping though Marvel games, Disney Marvel in this case, does see potential in Marvel Tokon. Because yeah, don't forget, it may be an Arc System Work is only the commissioners. They're the developers. So if anybody is able to pull the plug, it's Disney. But Disney wouldn't dare. Because clearly there is an audience. And if somehow if they're too stupid to even see that, then it's going to be a sad day for everybody. And, you can't end Marvel Tokon with just 1 year of season pass. It has to have multiple. Yeah, Sony is involved, and we all know Sony and Disney always have butted heads over Spider-Man. But this is the scene for the fighting game industry, or the fighting game genre. This is something that obviously Disney has like no control of or no understanding of it. They might as well just leave it to Sony. And Sony, they did put their monies where it should be, right into Arc System Works. Why can't they bring the Xbox? I bet it has something to do with Sony, since Sony is the one. If I remember from the reveal trailer, they said that it was Sony who approached Arc System Works and proposed the idea. So basically, Sony money. They just it's like a typical like a scene in a movie where Sony has a briefcase and a contract for Arc System Works to write down on, and of course Arc be like, okay, let's do it. But Arc, obviously, I'm not saying Arc. Obviously, they can't have a say whether if they can bring the game to Xbox or not. No, because again, Sony, they're the ones who asked for it first. If Sony did not get involved or even initially started the project, think about it. Marvel Tokon would not even be a thing. In fact, Arc would not even think about doing a Marvel fighting game. This only happened because of Sony. Just like how Street Fighter V happened because of Sony. Bayonetta 2 happened because of Nintendo. It's always the one who makes the first move first. If Microsoft did that with any company, then it would have been exclusive to them. Sometimes it could be about sometimes and then some other cases, like if it was just that one third party making the game without any first party inclusion, they can call the shots whether they want to make the game for one console or make it multi-platform. Either that sounds like a preference, or they just want to make it multi-platform. But that is not the case. Marvel Tokon happened because Sony made it happen. They just needed to put the money into someone's mouth, and they chose Arc System Works. And Arc, they were committed. They said, yes, let's do it. Because if you can imagine, I mean, they said it in that first initial trailer. It was at a they gathered at a bar having drinks. And then Sony was like, hey, Arc, we're working with Marvel Games, and we're thinking about bringing back tag team fighting games. And we want you to make it. Are you in? And Arc be like, oh, hell yeah. Like, but this is real? We're going to make a Marvel fighting game? Okay. Not SNK, not Capcom, but us, Arc System? Okay, let's do it. One of those dream come trues, if you can imagine Arc System Works' face. Because I bet you they wanted to make a Marvel fighting game, but they couldn't do that unless they consulted to Disney. But once again, thanks to Sony pretty much not vouched, but they made it happen. Connections, I guess. I don't know. That being said, this is why I said, like, Microsoft, when they purchased Activision, they should have made all of Activision's IPs exclusive to Xbox. When they bought Bethesda and ZeniMax, ZeniMax is the parent company of Bethesda, they should have made Fallout, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls exclusive. If they had done that, that could have given everybody a reason to buy an Xbox, to support Xbox. But no, Xbox decided to play ball, sharing is caring with everybody, and look what happened. It sounded good on execution that, okay, Crash Bandicoot gets to be shared, Call of Duty gets to be shared, but then at what cost? No reason to buy an Xbox. You can just play those same games on everywhere now. Even aside of PC, you can play Spyro on Nintendo Switch. It shouldn't be that way. But hey, at least Fable is not going to be PlayStation. Wait, right? No, the new Fable is still is going to be Xbox exclusive, right? I know the new Forza is not, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. So Marvel Tokon, looking forward to that, and I hope that the game gets multiple years of support, just like how Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising has been getting support, and then all of a sudden, Dragon Ball Fighters didn't that game also get like a new patch and one new DLC character or something like that? I mean, the surprising part was like supporting a new update to the game. And the fact that Grand Blue Fantasy versus for the PS4 servers are going to be shut down, people are assuming Rising is going to get another season. I haven't played Rising in a while, and I feel like I should get back to it. I did bought the season pass when it was like on sale, and at that time they were still working on the DLC characters. And I think that was it, right? That's all, at least my personal highlights to State of Play. But yeah, overall, that show was pretty good. 8 out of 10. I give them an 8. It would have been a 9 if they had Bloodborne, but oh well, looks like Bloodborne is once again trapped in the PS4 jail with its shitty frame rate performance and Miyazaki missing the opportunity to make buck. But hey, that's his choice. He's got I mean, he's already directing another game, isn't he? That we have yet to hear about still, Duskblood. Come on. When will we ever get news on that? The partner showcase wouldn't make sense since that's third party. And yeah, From Software is first party, but you have to remember Duskblood. The Duskblood is switched to exclusive. So technically speaking, that's a first party title. But yeah, no Duskbloods. Not yet. Oh, apparently there's rumors that a Nintendo Direct is like a general Direct is on the horizon somewhere. That's still coming to Switch too. Yep. And yeah, and once again, who was the one that... Wait, no, actually no. I think it was the other way around. Miyazaki was the one who proposed to Nintendo to have a new From Software game on Switch too. I think I remember reading the creator's note. Miyazaki had a talk with Nintendo about a new Souls-like game for the new console. That's like another case that could happen. Why exclusives happen? Either the first party makes a move, or the third party makes a move. And I know this sounds harsh, but exclusivity, we need to bring that back. Especially on Xbox part. Nintendo is still doing that at least. Like, didn't they just release a new Mario Tennis game? But it's first party, or not just first party, but exclusive games is how you sell your consoles. And since Microsoft is kind of complaining that their console sales dropped by 30%, hey, yeah, there is a solution to that. Stop selling Call of Duty on PlayStation and just keep it on Xbox. And problem solved. Yeah, you're gonna piss the flames, but in the long run, guess what? That's going to entail people to buy an Xbox, for better or for worse. You know, I even hear people just didn't want to buy a PlayStation 4, but You know what made them buy a PS4? Bloodborne. You didn't buy a PS4 just to play just to play what was it? Astrobot, the tech demo Astrobot. No, you didn't buy a PS4 for that. Oh no, I think it was called PlayStation Playroom. No, you bought it for Bloodborne. You didn't buy a Switch 1 just for those classic games. You bought it for Smash Brothers Ultimate. So yeah, exclusivity is important. First party or third party doesn't matter. I was against it, but you know what? Bring back the console wars. I would still buy all three consoles, but exclusivity needs to come back. We gotta get the people talking about why their console is superb over the other. Think about it. Back then, it was a simpler time. Heck, those times is what made those moments. That generation is why we had good games. It's also what drove Bungie to make, you know, the Halo Reach to be the most superb Halo installment. Where the beep am I? Alright, here we go. Hold on, I need to focus. 15. Oh yeah, there was a special program of Genshin today. That was announced, I'd say, by the last minute. That was a little unusual for Hoyoverse to do that, but yeah, very interesting. We're going back to Mondstadt, and some things are happening there. Such as Fischl working for the Fatus, but then it was a prank or something. I don't know. Klee is still being Klee. She's bomb fishing. But, of course, like with any whimsical story, there's also a serious one. Apparently, the big wolf has been tracked down by the Wild Hunt. You remember the big friendly wolf Borea? Apparently something past has come back to haunt him or something like that. But don't worry, not only is the honorary knight on the case, but so is the Grandmaster Vodka, for he's about to return home finally, but not very welcoming a very homecoming welcoming party. But still, hey, he's finally gonna be playable, and he's finally coming back to Mondstadt after all 5 years. You only get to hear his voice through letters in the past, and then you finally get to see him in person in non-crate, but he was still too busy. But yeah, he's finally coming home. And yeah, he's the only new character in the update. I was expecting like at least another 5-star. But hey, you know what this that means for me, at least, I'm gonna be saving my primo gems. Excuse me. As much as how cool Varka is, swinging around 2 claymore swords. But nah. This is once again a case of if it's a husbando, I am skippa. Which also means I get to save some primo gems for the whole month. For whoever comes next. And if it's Alice, then hey, then it's totally worth. It's gonna be totally worth saving them primo gems. Varka, and I guess it would make sense if Alice was the next character in line after Varka. It's like Varka is finally coming home, and now Alice is finally coming home. She's been away from her daughter Klee for too long. Dad came back with the milk. But what about mommy? Mother Alice.
당연한 결과입니다. 이번엔 쉽네. 엔드필드는 또 한 걸음 앞으로 나아갔어.
Hey, who are you chumps? Fine. Well, it's not like there's anything here anyways. I quickly reinstalled Honkai Star Rail just to get all the freebies. And then I pulled the gacha with whatever leftover Stellar Jades I had. And wouldn't you know it, I got the new character in just 30 pulls. Not even close to the guaranteed. And yet, I felt nothing. I didn't felt like, oh, wonderful, the wife who I always wanted. Like, I didn't get that feeling. I got that feeling when I was gotching the new character in ZZZ. Okay, well, not like happy glee, not like how those streamers freak out. No, but yeah, it just. I already said my piece, my reason why I just gave up on Star Rail, and just having to reinstall the game, get all the freebies, and yeah, all that stuff, getting the new character, and I still felt nothing. Is this how people treat how people feel with live service games that they know they're, you know, tired of? Because if that's the feeling, now I get it. But I am nowhere getting that feeling with Genshin or ZZZ. And you would think Genshin, the game that is kind of like treated as like the black sheep of Hoyoverse, would be the one that should be the game that I should have given up. But no. Very much the opposite. While Honkai has been being treated as the favorite child, like literally just now you can get a free character of your choice. Which that was one of the freebies I got, and yeah, I got it. But once again, I feel nothing. It's not the character. It's the game as a whole. How much? Oh, and to make things even worse, why I was reminded why I uninstalled the game as soon as before I was able to get all the free stuff and the gotcha, I was once again slapped with, "Hey, check out this new game mode that you can play." Yeah, we got another game mode. Now there's 10 or so game modes you can play on your off time while also earning stellar jades. And while you're at it, here's this new knee slapping gameplay element. And here I'm thinking, when is it gonna stop? Like, if you keep introducing a new gameplay element, it's gonna overshadow, power creep all the old ones. That's in a comparison that I can just make up here. That's like if Genshin was introducing you to like new elements. Like, if you thought 7 was like too short, imagine if they threw in 7 more. Think about that. Then you would have to recalculate, rethink your strategy, and then think about what characters are going to be overshadowed, power creeped because of some new gameplay element or new element type. Is that going to be fun? In my opinion, no. That's going to overshadow the old characters. It's going to ruin the experience that people know and love about the game in general. But if you keep adding all this stuff, well, you better make up for that by buffing the old. And yeah, fortunately, the reality is Genshin, they are introducing a new reaction element at least, but it's not rocket science. At least it's like straightforward. It's more like in a new and improvement version. Like Lunar Charge is just Electro Charge, but better. There's also Lunar Crystallize. I don't know what it does. It just explodes geo damage on enemies. Lunar Bloom. The Dendro cores are now bigger and do more damage. But the reaction is the same. Just, you have to mix that with the Lunar characters. And then, no, even 5 years later, we still Genshin only has 2 game modes. Post-game stuff. The Imaginarium Theater and the Spiral Abyss. And that's it. Like, at least I don't need to think about, like, all these other game modes compared to, like, Star Rail does. And then ZZZ. Okay, ZZZ is growing slowly. Like, there's the Lost Void. There's what was it? That there's something Assault. And then the Shiyu Defense. Yeah. So far like 3? No, I think there's a 4th one. There's a 4th Battle Threshold or something. But at least so far, those are doable. I mean, to be fair, it's because ZZZ is still, somewhat of a new game. It's only 1 year old. But Honkai, it's only now like, I want to say 4 years old, and yet, or it's about to be 4 years old, and yet, nah, man. They just kept showering the game with too much content, too much crap to deal with, and no, that's it, man. That's already more than enough for me to remember. I don't want to deal with that anymore. And plus, the turn-based combat started to get dull on me. I wanted to be in control of my characters, thank you. Or if you're going to make a turn-based combat engaging, yeah, blah, 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 I already said my piece. So. Oh, shoot, I knew it. So yeah, until Star Rail somehow improves, which I doubt, considering all the crazy gameplay stuff that they shoved in That is so hard to see. Oh wait, no, no, no. So yeah, nah. Star Rail is done. But nay, at least I have this game now. A game that is not turn-based RPG. And just more, what you say? Well, yeah, action RPG. With some factory building, tower defense stuff, and yeah, it's all good. Also, I don't think I mentioned this, but I think it should already be known by now. There is an ongoing meme about Arknights. What people can call it a meme, but it has a cruel backstory. So the meme right now about Arknight Enfield is it's one sentence. Can you give me $30,000? $30,000. Oh shoot, nope. No. So what is this $30,000 thing? So apparently when when Arknights first launched, somebody was trying to buy the battle pass and all the other bundles of goodies through PayPal. Yep. And because PayPal decided to become PayPal, there was a nasty bug that caused somebody, that one individual, to, instead of getting the stuff that he bought for himself, somehow it gave it to somebody else. I don't know how that works. It was a PayPal error, and yes, the developers took notice of that, and all they did to compensate was like free polls or something like that, or I don't know, to that one poor soul. Again, one guy spent $30,000, at least whatever equivalent that is in Chinese currency, or was it Chinese? No, I think it was American. Yeah, I think it was American. Yeah, somebody spent $30,000 on this game, but because of PayPal's weird glitch, instead of getting what he paid for, it somehow got gifted to somebody else. Somebody that I think he had like no connection, no contacts, to my understanding. And then because of that, it became a meme, a song meme actually. And I assure you, somewhere down the road, I think Hypergraph is gonna make like some kind of meme about that in the future updates. Some NPC is gonna be like, "Can you give me 30,000 Valley bills?" Well, yeah, that's funny and all, but man, think about it. $30,000 just gone, given to somebody else because of some PayPal glitch. And even more crueler is when somebody decides to turn it into a meme. This game also had some funny controversies. Except they weren't really controversies, just people just finding an excuse to hate on the game. And of course it was coming from a bunch of normal people. People who don't play video games. People who would assume that, oh, so you like anime girls? Oh, you're such a pervert. Without, enough context as to what they mean exactly. But yeah, one of the characters was like some little girl wolf, and how she was showing affection to the main character. And and those normal people were calling it like a predator child thing. But no, not even close. And no, the real context is that the character in question, Rosie, I think that's her name. No, she actually does admire the main character you play as. And that's it. It wasn't the other way around. ZZZ 2.7 will be released on March 25th. Yeah, that's a long time from now. I mean, good enough for the ZZZ team. Whoops. Wait, what is this? Oh, no, never mind. I thought it was a cutscene. I don't want to start anything yet. In fact, no, I can't be. I don't want to go anywhere near that. I want to uncover as much of the map as I can. It'll make fast traveling easier. But yeah, a whole month, man. Excuse me. The one thing that I will say, the one thing that I'm a little displeased with this in the current update in ZZZ now is the banner. So the banner, yes, introduces the 3 members of Angels of Delusions. And yet, this current update, we're only getting 2 of them. And the 3rd member, she's not even like she didn't get a like a drip reveal. Somebody else got a drip reveal over her. I mean, I guess it's because it makes sense that people would expect that. Expect the 3rd member of Angels of Delusion to be next, but no. Guess who's taking that spotlight? A new officer or a new member of NEPS. Forgot what her name is, but yeah, that's the new character drip reveal for ZZZ as of now. So yeah, if just a quick reminder, what is NEPS? NEPS is the police department. New Enderu Police. Is that actually? I've always been calling it NEPS. I never questioned about what the full initial name was. But yeah. So wouldn't that mean Zhou Yuan, her squad actually has 3, 4, now 5 members? There's Jane Doe, Xingyi, Seth, Zhuan, and now the new girl. Yeah, that's 5. Is everybody gonna have 5 members now? Is the Cutting Hairs gonna have 5 members? Because they have, they have 4. Cecia, yeah, that's her. Yeah. Oh, you want to see this? Oh, dang it. These cows, if you pet them, you can actually make them poop, and you can pick up the poop. But I guess not this one. But yeah, that's the new character that they decided to drip reveal, and not the 3rd member of Angels of Delusion. Strange, isn't it? But at the same time, yeah, I think it's because it's too obvious. Like, why bother revealing that when you should reveal someone new, someone that hasn't been revealed yet? Still, it would have been nice if all 3 members were in one update. But then again, that would mean that think how much spending that would be. Think about how many polychromes you would need to save just to get all 3 members. I was expecting one of them to be A rank, but nah. I guess it kind of makes sense to make them all S ranks, to make them special. I think it should also be safe to say, if that's the path that they're going, then it should be safe to say that the 11K, I think more than that. Like if we do the math on like of trying to I can't talk. If we do the math on making an attempt to obtain 3 S rank agents, in this case Angels of Delusion, if you take away it, like if we take the factor of getting an S rank before the guaranteed, let's see, how many polychromes would that be? So it's oh man, because I play so much Arc Knights, the gacha is kind of messing me up. 1600, right? 1600 for every 10 polls. So let's see. If we multiply that by, the guaranteed is usually 90, but it usually happens when it reaches to 80. So let's say when it reaches to 80, times 80. So yeah, again, 1600 polychromes equals 10 polls. You need to reach at least 80 or 90, but we're going to put 80. 80 to reach the guaranteed. That, I don't know if I did this math correctly. No, that can't be right. No. Yeah, that's not it. 1600 for every 10 poll. And if we were to reach to 80, yeah, there we go, 12K. Yeah, I typed in 80. So yeah, 12,800 polychromes you would need to at least reach 80. So if we times that by 3 to get the entire members of Angels of Delusion, you're looking at 38,400 polychromes in order to get all 3 members. But that's assuming you don't lose a 50-50. And yeah, again, that's also assuming you don't get the S rank before the guaranteed. That's crazy, isn't it? 38,000. Over it, or 38,000. It's like you better hope to the RNG goddess that it's by your side, that she's by your side in order to make that happen. To make miracles happen. spend 20k polychromes getting soldier. Yeah, at least you got lucky there. That means I assume you got one of those characters before the guaranteed. Or both, possibly. How do I get up there? Didn't I see stairs that lead up there? Oh, there. Wait, no. Yes. No. Maybe. Don't forget to build up on those potential artifacts, or what was it called? Not artifacts, archive, potential archive, for the characters that got buffs. I've already completed Soldier 11's. Next is gonna be Ellen. Thank God they made that so easy to obtain. Oh, both? Okay, then yeah, you definitely got lucky. Lucky. I guess you and me both, Ratchet, because I managed to get the new character before the guaranteed as well. Same thing with the other character in Genshin who was a Z-Buy. Oh man, speaking of Genshin, I gotta start the event, man. They just rolled out another event, and they both of them end on the same date. And the fact that the special program was today, that means I only have like 2 weeks left. Broken control. Oh, dang right. You gotta get a new controller as soon as you can. Meanwhile, I'm drowning in factory simulation mode here. Simulator here. And nothing is stopping me from playing, doing those events in Genshin, but I don't know what's going on with my brain. Oh yeah, and also I'm busy playing Neo 3. I just reached to like the thing that Team Ninja was like teasing so much about Neo 3. The era in where Japan gets revolver guns. I forgot what the name of the era is called. Maybe it's I think it's also the habit of me just grinding. I'm like still grinding on character talents and such. And guess what? I'm even doing that here with this game. This game also has that similar trait too. Skills to level up, other factors to level up. Well, on the bright side, at least this game doesn't have that many characters to work with. Not yet, at least. And they got 3 banners, 3 phases of banners. Actually, speaking of which, when does this one end? 10 days. Dang. Another week to wait. Rumor has it this standard banner is gonna go away soon. For some reason. Even though it literally says permanent, but I'm not taking the words out of some YouTube shorts telling me what might happen, because it sounds like something what a Reddit user would say. What did he call that? not rage baiting. Not, I mean, false spreading misinformation. Yeah, something like that. Oh, that's where it is. Oh no, low battery. Open sesame, what are you? You are a material gatherer. No, you are whatever these things are called. These tough ass challenges. Level 80? I'm not even at 70 yet. I could be at 70 now, but nah, I'm taking my sweet time. I'm good. You know, the more I think about it, I feel like GTA 6, by the time it comes out, it's gonna be beyond the $100 price tag. And then, you know what? People are still gonna buy it. They're gonna complain, but they're gonna buy it anyways. And Rockstar, no, this is gonna cause some confusion in the gaming industry. Just like how when Silksong was sold for like $20 and literally AAA companies were like, "What the fudge? $20? Stop brainwashing our consumers. $20. How could you do this? $20 for a good game? You shouldn't buy that game. You should buy a full price game." Literally everybody on Twitter and Reddit, the game developers, they were all so unprofessional. They were like, "Yeah, we see the success of Silksong, but $20? No way, man. Stop brainwashing the consumers." And now we have High Guard. Oh, hello. How do I get you without jumping off and missing my mark? Because I can't climb. Anyways, yeah, High Guard devs are, as the kids are calling it, crashing out. They're crashing out so hard. Guess what they're doing? They are blaming everybody. Even to the people who haven't even played the game. Because yeah, I already touched on the topic. High Guard devs cut in half. Like, they had to lay off many of their staff. So all they have left is what they call a skeleton crew. And now those people, they're on Twitter and some other website, I think it's called Lincoln or something like that. They're complaining on those sites and saying, "It's the gamers' fault we lost our jobs. I got 10 years of experience." And yeah, it didn't take long for their comments to be flooded by a bunch of people who literally were talking back on the developers and saying, "No, we're not at fault for the failure of your game. You had a simple job. No, you had one job as a game developer." Us? Yeah, they're blaming gamers. There's already a video that I watched. There was like a video I watched, and all the people that were like basically talking back to the developers, like, you know, the whole complaint was backfired on the High Guard devs so quickly. They literally retreated back to their shell, which is like, you know, staying away from Twitter, even turning off comments and blocking people, which is another word of saying they are afraid of facing the truth. They are afraid of accountability. They are afraid to understand the truth. And you know what that truth is? We gamers, we're just consumers. We have every right to judge the game or the product that you made. We get to decide. We have the right to tell, you know, the creators, the developers, how good or how bad your product is. In fact, there was another developer that spoke back at the Highguard dev. Not a developer, an artist. The artist, she said, like, she had that similar sense, like, you know, she took so much pride in her hard work. She thought she was told she was the best, but when she went to university and college and was faced with criticism, yeah, it hurts, but she learned she needed that criticism to improve, and then she did improve. And that's pretty much what, yeah, and yeah, the Highguard dev guy, again, silent. He was afraid to face the truth. And that's the thing. Think about it. It's common sense for any business, for anybody. If you make, okay, think about it. Put it in a way you could relate easily. Imagine if you were cooking or baking, let's say, chocolate chip cookies. Easiest thing you can possibly do, right? Well, when you're not buying the Pillsbury Doughboy version, no, where you just cut the cookie dough. Yeah, no. Like, my cousin, she's younger than me, and she knows how to make cookies. I don't. But anyways, let's just say you were baking cookies for the first time. The last thing you want to have is toxic positivity, which is what the Highguard devs had. The same guy that was complaining, he said there was no way this game was going to flop. We know this game is going to sell well. Like, the guy was too much Mr. Positive. Which, sure, on one hand, that's good. You want to feel good about your hard work. But at the same time, you have to expect backlash, some negative criticism. Because, as we all know, there is no such thing as a perfect game. There is going to be people who will like some things about the game, and some other things that people don't like. You call Breath of the Wild 10 out of 10? The game's not perfect. And I can say that with full confidence as somebody who's played the game dozens of hours, hundreds even. It's not perfect. It's great though, but it's not perfect. So yeah, going to the cookie thing. If it's your first time baking a cookie, think about it. Is it going to be really that great, or is it going to come out poorly? Well, let's say that it is good. Like, let's say you give it to your parents for a taste test. Maybe they'll say they like it. But and then they're going to say, maybe it needs more sugar. Or maybe less sugar. Maybe less buttery. Or the cookie is flat, but it's too flat. And then what? What are you going to cry about it? No, you shouldn't cry about it. Sure, it hurts to face the truth, but the truth, guess what it does? You learn from it. You learn from your mistakes. Lion King, the original Disney Lion King. Remember what Rafiki says? The past can hurt, but you can either run from it or learn from it. Just like everything in the world right now. Whether you're baking cookies or making a video game. Whatever you cook, whatever you make, we are the judge of that. The consumers are the judge of that. Like whether the game is good or not. But if it's, and let's say if the game is not, we have every right to criticize it and tell you what went wrong with this game. What went wrong with the cookies? Was it the taste? Was there a lack of chocolate chips on it? Was it too burnt? So in the game's equivalent, too many bugs, less game modes, less content to work with, only 4 hours of game time, gameplay from start to end, or whatever, more bugs. We have every right to criticize that. So then what do you do as a developer when you're faced with criticisms like that? You learn. It's how you learn to improve on your next game, your next project. And hell, even if the game is successful, like the original Modern Warfare, what do you do from there? Well, you learn from your... even that game had mistakes. So then Infinity Ward learned. They made the multiplayer very addicting. They made the story amazing as well. They doubled down. Not doubled down. They improved beyond the success of what they established in the first Modern Warfare. And everybody knows that. Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare 2 was addicted. Very addictive. Cult classic. You would tell yourself one more game. But you just keep going. But even Modern Warfare 2 had its problems. You know, like all those stupid camping spots. You know where those are. So that's the thing that high guard devs are refusing to face. So instead of learning from their mistakes and what went wrong, they're blaming on us. They're blaming on you, your dog, your cat, your mom, your dad. Whether or not you played high guard, or hell, even when the people who did play high guard, they spoke truthfully. Like they even admitted that the game is fun when they find a game because of the servers. But the game has potential, but it needs more polish. It needs to be put back into the bakery. And I heard that recently they just included a 5 versus 5 mode, so now the game it should have been like that to begin with. But even with that, it was still not enough. And here's like another reason why I think High Guard failed. It's not the character designs. I don't care about the character designs. I think they were just okay. The problem with High Guard is that it's yet another PvP hero shooter that the market is already oversaturated with. And yeah, it's like another case of it's another live service game. Now, somebody could argue and say, well, Arknight's Enfield here is live service. Why is this game being so successful and not High Guard? Well, I can talk about that later, but yeah, that's one of the major problems that the developers Wildlight should have realized. We already have enough hero shooters. And if you were going to still put it out there, you could have at least marketed the game. Remember, High Guard had barely any marketing. They just had like a trailer and gameplay tutorials 3 days before launch. Some are even saying it's Jeff Keighley's fault for, putting it as the last final reveal at the Game Awards. From my point of view, High Guard shouldn't even happen. It should not have existed. Instead, you know what they should have done? Since it was coming from the same people who did Titanfall and Apex, they should have just made a spiritual successor to Titanfall and just made it multiplayer. And not a live service, but a full price game. Maybe then people wouldn't hate it or dislike it and, throw in negative review bombs over it. But no, instead they went for a genre, a market that they thought could work twice. But no, you can't. And and if you remember, yeah, they were going to shadow drop it because, according to the folks who did work on Apex Legends, Apex Legends shadow dropped. If you remember, why did that game do well? Because at the time when Apex Legends came out, it was when battle royales were at its peak moment, at its prime, when it was marketable, where people wanted more battle royales. And not only that, if you play Titanfall, then you're familiar. Then the DNA of Titanfall was in Apex Legends, so it's like that's why the game worked. It came in it shadow dropped at the right time with the right DNA that people were already familiar with. Highguard came out when people were already tired of this genre, and the fact that it's live service, sure, there's no harm in trying it out, but once people do try it out, this only further proves the point that people don't want yet another live service hero shooter. It's time to aim for a new genre, something that needs to be revived. 3D platforms, 2D platformers or something. Turn-based RPGs, like for Christ's sakes, Expedition 33. Think about it. Aside of Mario RPG and Mario and Luigi Brothership and Pokemon, I mean, that's all Nintendo. Turn-based RPGs are now like a diamond in the sand, like a rare genre that hasn't been made, aside of like indie games, I guess. But then again, Expedition 33 is an indie game. So they should have done that. Like, revitalize a genre that people really want to see come back. In fact, after yesterday's State of Play, we got back Castlevania. Like, Castlevania got a new game, a new entry. It's back. The mother / father, I don't know who I guess the father, because Metroid is the mother. Yeah, Metrovania. The father of Metrovania is back. Something that people have always wanted. Silent Hill's coming back. Yeah, sure, it's first person, but it's Silent Hill. That's why people are excited for it. And even more so when you remember that the first Silent Hill 1 remake is in the works. Why is that game going to be successful? Well, first of all, we don't know that because we haven't seen the game yet. But then you have to ask, why did Silent Hill 2 remake become so successful? Because one, it's a return of a franchise that we haven't seen in decades. Two, it's a remake of a classic that people love. Three, it's a psychological horror game that, sure, if you played a lot on Steam, yeah, it's because Steam has so many of those, but Silent Hill was kind of like the pioneer of psychological horror. And to see it come back, it's like, yeah, people want to come back and play Silent Hill 2 remake. That's why it became successful. And I had my doubts on it because of Team Bloober, but they proved me wrong. Team Bloober actually took the time to make a good psychological horror game. Because if you remember, all their past games, they were scary, but they came out very buggy. I mean, yeah, obviously Silent Hill 2 Remake did have some bugs. I got stuck on a bench that I could not get down from. But they fixed it, sort of. And I absolutely love it, and I hope that Team Bloober keeps up with that pace with Remake 1. So anyways, yeah, that's what I think why, in my opinion, why High Guard failed. It came out in a market that is already oversaturated. They should have just made a Titanfall game, make it campaign only, and that's it. Because you have to start small. Start small from that. Don't make it a live service. Make a spiritual successor, and you're good. Who doesn't love piloting a giant mech that carries a giant gun? or that moment where I forgot the robot's name in Titanfall 2. He chucks you across the sky just to get on a flagship or something. Anyways, and yeah. So then why does Arc Knights get the pass? Well, one, it's Arc Knights based on a popular mobile game. Two, it's 3D. Because I assure you, a lot of people who played Arc Knights, they always wanted to see what the characters would look like in 3D models. Because if you remember the original mobile game, it was just PNGs and chibi models, right? And yeah, there were like some animated cutscenes as well, actually. What else? And three, it's in the market of a genre that is still pretty much still popular to this day. From Genshin, Wuthering Waves, Tower Fantasy, and yeah, now Arc Knights Enfield is here to take the spotlight as well. Share the glory. And once again, game developers should not be complaining on Twitter whatsoever. It was a simpler time back in the day. Remember when when social media wasn't such a thing like today? I mean, there was a time where game developers actually understood what didn't work and what did work, and how were game developers back then be able to understand what was successful and what wasn't, what was and wasn't successful. How were they able to analyze that? Money. It was really that simple. Back then, think about it. Bandai Namco, like, let's imagine Bandai Namco for a second. Imagine when they released Tekken 5. Or no, not Tekken. Tekken was already successful. Let's take Bubsy as an example. After Bubsy 3D, did you think that we would get another Bubsy game? No. And you know why? Because the game was not successful. It shipped out, but the sales numbers, really tells to the game developers that, yeah, they cannot, their business, Bubsy IP cannot stay afloat. So we have to like stop right there. And that's it. That's just how it is for video game criticism. Back in the day when it was simple, it was money. If the company didn't earn enough profit, then that's already loud and clear to them. The game was not successful. But if they have enough money in the back pockets, then they can make another game, but hopefully better. And if there was a game that was successful, like Mario and Sonic, what do? Well, you take all that profit and put it towards the next project. And also, yeah, work with bring back what make in the new game in your next project. Continue doing what was successful, and just improve on that. That's the whole purpose of sequels. You keep what works, but also improve on that level. It's like, when Sonic just went from spin dashing to now having a homing attack. Imagine what the kids' reactions were when people first saw that Sonic being able to do a homing attack. It was revolutionary at the time. Like Sonic being able to now zero in on enemies with a lock on. And yeah, there was no lock on, but you know what I mean. And then Mario entered the 3D dimension. He can swim in 3D. He can do a triple jump. He can break dance. And yeah, all that sort. Oh Jesus, how do I get there? And if your game doesn't do well, like Mario Sunshine, well, what do? Make Mario Galaxy. A game that really did sell off the store shelves along with the Wii's. Oh, and while you're at it, play Wii Tennis with your grandma. She will definitely love it. Is there stairs here? I feel like I've been running around in circles and all these buildings are very identical. So yeah, if you ever see a game developer or not, if you ever seen or hear another game developer complaining and then they're blaming us consumers, us gamers, just assume it's a game developer just crashing out and once again just refusing to accept reality, facing the truth. There's that saying, when you make a product, you're not how did this thing go? You're not owed positivity. You have to earn it. You're not owed trust. You have to earn trust. That's how it works. That's how the world of business works. You can't just force your consumers to love your product. Even if they want to say something bad, no. You can't just force them to say it's good and that's the only product you should buy. No. That's like saying if McDonald's force choked you and to make you say force you to eat a Big Mac for the rest of your life. No. Absolutely not. That's not how you owe positivity and consumers to love your product. You have to earn it. And how do you earn it? That's for you. That's for the creators, the chefs, artists to figure out. Which in this case, as a game developer, you just make good games. Games that people actually would enjoy. Games that people actually want in high demand. But game developers these days, they just like to assume. They like to assume that you do want another hero shooter. They just want to assume you want microtransactions or paywall stuff. This is why companies like EA and Activision, they force microtransactions into their games. It's because it's not for us. They do it for the sake of earning money for themselves, so that they can impress the investors. Which, yeah, pretty much backfires horribly. It was a much simpler time, man. Like, game companies didn't have investors breathing down their necks. If game companies nowadays don't want investors breathing down their necks, the objective more or less should be straightforward. Not simple, but straightforward. Just make your games good. Make a good product. Because once you actually think about it, it's not even rocket science. When you make a good game, a game that people will absolutely love. Not based on what you assume, but like if people are saying it's a good game, guess what happens? They're gonna spread the word. Hey, Arknights Enfield is such a great game. You should download it. Guess what happens then? The word gets spread out. Everybody else will start downloading and playing it. And then, yeah, then the game community grows, and when more and more people come in and say Arknights is a really great game, before you know it, okay, well, I can't put Arknights, sorry. Let's just say, for example, Smash Brothers. I mean, yeah, I know it's a great game, but think about it. That game, actually, easy example, that game, Smash Brothers Ultimate, Sakurai put heart and soul into that game. He even had to consult a lot of third parties, even freaking Disney, to make Smash Brothers Ultimate the game that it is today. And was it all worth it? Yeah, of course. And look what happened. Success, money was raking in so easily. Does it need to be a first-person shooter? No. I remember back when EA was like complaining about how single players were like not marketable. And then literally a year later, Jedi Fallen Order pretty much shut them up. But yeah, once you make a good game, and when everybody eventually talks about it and spreads the word, money will start coming in. Then you don't have to worry about investors breathing down your neck and saying, where's the money? Where's the profits? Oh, here's the profits. Hey, good job. How did you do it? How did you get all this money? Oh, yeah, you know, we pumped out a really great game that sold 18 million copies in 1 year or whatever. That's something that, yeah, nowadays game companies just kind of like forgot how to do. And now they're afraid. They're afraid of indie developers. They're even, in a figurative way of saying it, they're kind of like now wanting to cause a declaration of war against indie developers. Because once again, just like with Silksong, AAA companies are afraid. They're afraid that we are buying good games for a low price. Affordable, even. They are afraid that we will be favoring indie games only. Well, if that's the case, I don't mind it. Because at least indie games are giving us what we want. From Shovel Knight to Expedition 33. Except for Mighty Number 9, unfortunately. Poor Keiji Inafune. Better than nothing? Well, yeah. Not really. But, see, no, that's like another thing that AAA companies, once again, don't understand. It's not always about the indie games being successful. Again, Keiji Inafune, he tried to make it an example, and look what happened. Not even a great game. And then you have Shovel Knight, an indie game that was great. But hey, at least Keiji Inafune did give us Gunvolt. At least Gunvolt has a future. An indie game, spiritual successor to Mega Man Zero. But yeah, no, it's not the indie games are not the problem. Again, the main problem is just that companies are just being very lackluster on making games good again. That's it. How the fuck do I get over there? Unless I can somehow drain this water. Because right now, these characters don't know how to swim. Excuse me. I wonder if I can just jump. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like I can make that. I'll just dive it anyways. Is there actually deep? Yeah, no, it's like. Oh wait, I see a platform, but I'm gonna jump it. Yeah,
수집해야 하는 건가? 알겠습니다.
it's okay. It still counts that I grabbed it. I took some minor damage. It's fine. I bet that's the switch. Oh, whoops. Free stuff. Just for doing something that you're gonna end up doing anyways. Yeah, that was me yapping about just another case of something that I want to let out of my chest. Because call me crazy, I usually talk to myself like I'm facing myself in a mirror talking about this. Yeah, I know, I failed once again. I shouldn't be talking about video game controversies and such. Old habits die hard, I know. But it's kind of like one of those cases of letting it out, and you know, if you ever wonder why the gaming industry is in its darkest times, why games are turning out to be bad, well, yeah, there you go. But let's not try to be too biased against them. Like, you know, if next time if there's like a game kind of like High Guard, don't criticize it just because somebody, he or she, or what I say. Sometimes, no, not sometimes. Sorry, no, I always say that. You have to like at least give it a shot. I mean, in this case, High Guard is free to play, so there's no harm in trying it. But you know, assuming that you can find a match. There we go. Unless, of course, the writing is on the wall and you can practically tell that a game is really bad, then yeah, welcome to the echo chamber. Where the same things are being said over and over. But that's also a place you don't want to be at. Hey, as much I already heavily criticize High Guard, but at the same time, I understand what they were what they were set out to do. My advice, like I said, they should have actually looked at the writings on the wall. PvPs, hero shooters are overrated. They're oversaturated. They should have worked on a different genre. They should have made not a live service game, but a full price game. Or since they were independent, maybe like, you know, indie game price tag, whatever. Whatever you want to call the price tag for indie games. Half price? Full price, half price? Maybe. All I can hope for is that for the people who got laid off, I hope you guys learn your lesson and like literally, like really learn your lesson and find another company that is actually committed to making games great again.
가치 있는 목표 발견. 빠른 회수를 요청합니다.
And also, please, people, try to be respectful for those for the folks out there. Trust me, losing a job really sucks. Come back!
익숙한 느낌이야.
especially in this day and age. So yeah, don't be too harsh on them. Well, I say don't be too harsh. A little harsh, yeah, when they have to face accountability. You don't want to be like those people, like those kids who cover their ears and say la 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 la. I know that was me, man. I didn't want to hear it, but I had to. And since I'm Asian, trust me, we Koreans, we go through a lot of lecturing from our parents. Oh, but me, it wasn't just words that hurt. Back then, my parents would hit me with a spatula. Now, yes, that sounds really harsh and cruel. Heck, that's an old classic way of punishment. I've been through worse than getting slapped on my hands by a spatula. It was on my hands, not my face, guys. Now, you could say that's cruel for children to go through, but why do you think some Asians act a little tough? Why do you think they go through harsh times and, you know, adapt? I don't know. I'm not saying I've adapted. I'm sure a slap on the hand by a spatula will still hurt, but not as much when I was a kid. But the point is, lecturing is sometimes necessary. In fact, I'm sure my nephew, who's only now 2 years old, I'm already expecting his future where my sister is going to give him a nice lecture if he ever does cause trouble. And then, if he ever comes to me, I'll tell him, yeah, don't worry. Your mother was like that to me when I was your age. and trust me, my little nephew, you're gonna deal with all this in the next phases of your life, and it's important to face these because your mother is right. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's saying. You just fail to understand because you're young. Now here, let's play some TMNT to cheer you up. No, I'm not gonna make him see anything M-rated, mature rated games. No way, man. I'm not letting my nephew go through what I went through playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I was terrorized by zombies. Scared of zombies, yeah, I know. Shut up. I couldn't even go anywhere near a House of the Dead arcade cabinet. Well, these zombies are not scary anymore. Except unless they do a typical cheesy jump scare. Oh. Whoops. Well, it was on the other side. It was on this side. I couldn't even reach it. Also, they locked me out. I can't even go up there. Can I just go through here then? I hate when that happens in stories. You can't... Stop! Yeah, you can't even go anywhere. What is this? Is this the pressure plate thingamajig? Probably used for something later. Let me... Whoops. I'm gonna mark it, but this thing's in the way. Uh-oh. Dang it. Of course. And for a game that where you can't even climb, that's already problematic. But there's always a way, you just have to go the long way around. That's all. Okay, so no, you can't stand on the railings. Oh, hello. Oh, that was intentional. Hey, shit. Oh shoot, I forgot to mark the thing. Oh well. Oh yeah, when I saw the Rayman 30th anniversary thing, like, okay, I appreciate the fact that, you know, at least they're remembering Rayman, but Ubisoft is not in any position to be, you know, releasing a game or two. And also, no, if you played Rayman 1, there is nothing good about a re-release of a game that was notoriously known for being really bad. I mean, not bad, but like hard. Like, I played Rayman 1. Holy shit, it is such a hard game. Somebody of old Ubisoft thought of, probably played Mario and Sonic and thought, let's make our platformer hard. At least Rayman 2 was a better game. And I'm sorry, but it's an anniversary collection, but it's all multiple versions of Rayman 1. Why? Why not just stick to the one version that's good? That's like if Capcom decided to release every version of Street Fighter 2 and call it Street Fighter 2 Variation Collection. I mean, at least that there's a reason to have a collection like that, because each Street Fighter 2 version does have like some features exclusive to each console. Except for the Sega Genesis version, because, yeah, that the Sega Genesis version of Street Fighter 2, whichever Street Fighter 2 they had, was bad. I mean, at least controller-wise. Because if you must know, the Sega Genesis controller for Street Fighter 2. Since the game was meant to be is a 6-button fighter, Genesis only has 3, A, B, C. So that means you only have 3 punches. So then how do you do kicks? You have to actually press the start button to switch the punch to kick. Capcom had to make it work like that. Bloody brilliant. But yeah, at least that, I mean, actually that kind of collection would work, because, yes, each Street Fighter 2 is a different variation from the others. You have the original Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, and I think there was a Turbo, wasn't it? Also, there is a way to get up there. What time is it now? I lost track of time. It's almost 9. Okay. There's another one of these funny switches. I bet it has something to do with water.
가치 있는 목표 발견. 빠른 회수를 요청합니다.
Ah, excuse me. Oh yeah, I was thinking about streaming Dead or Alive 6 after that announcement, but not today. Another time, another stream. Yeah, well, it was about time I de-rusted my stuff with Dead or Alive. A part of me really wants to just, like, I want to play more of 5 than 6. I mean, I could do both. Although that being said, I do hope that the stuff that 5 has, I hope it's put into 6. I don't mind DOA 6 having that super meter. That was like one of the new additions to the game. The only thing that I just find it weird was that you had to use a meter in order to do a sidestep attack, which is really bizarre just thinking about that. And it was really bad actually when it first came out because the super meter only had you only had like 2 bars to use. So which means sidestepping was pretty much really bare minimum. But then it didn't take long. I think like a month or a couple of weeks later, they would increase that to 4. So it was nice of them that they did consider that, but no, the super meter, I mean, sidestepping, they should change that, like, just do it freely. And then the super meter should just be used for the counters and doing a fatal strike. That's what it was called. Like that I don't mind the use of that, the introduction of the super meter. Like if you ever, it's like, and it's actually pretty useful. Like, you know how, in a sense, like similar to like Killer Instinct, or I guess Virtual Fighter in this case, since it's the same. There were like Dead or Alive has counter holds, but you had to like figure out based on your opponent's attack whether it's a punch, a punch or a kick, a high, mid, low. And then you would initiate counter holds to basically counter. But even the counter holds have a counter by simply just doing a throw. And then I think they call that a high counter hold. But if you didn't want to like make like a wild guess, or if you're in a state of panic, if you have at least 2 bars of meter, you could use, I think it's 2. You could use that to do like a, what is it called? Basically like an all counter. Like a counter hold that counters everything. But it doesn't do much damage. Heck, I don't think you can even use that to KO somebody because it only does like 5% damage. Or something like that. But yeah, that's all the reason why I think it's a nice addition. It's like better example. It's like Mortal Kombat's X Breakaway. Spend a meter to break out of a combo, to get out of a sticky situation. And yeah, some fighting games really need to have that. The game definitely, Dead or Alive 6 definitely needs to have some more stages. I feel like there wasn't that many in variety, especially compared to 5. Now, if anybody is interested in the free-to-play version, well, first of all, there is already a free-to-play version of 6 Core Fighters. If my memory serves me correctly, Core Fighters does only give you only 4 characters to play with. If you want more characters, or if you already have a main, yeah, you have to purchase each character individually. But other than that, you pretty much have access to every game mode in the Core Fighters. The only thing you don't have access to is story mode. That's it. So practically you have almost everything. You just don't have all the characters. You just have to work with 4. And yeah, there's everything but story mode. And you don't need story mode. You just go to training mode and go through the tutorial, and there you go. Learn the basics of the game. I don't know if they still do it now, but I remember in Core Fighters 5, DOA 5 Core Fighters, there would be like a weekly cycle of characters that you can use. Or maybe I'm thinking of another fighting game that does that. But yeah, you can do that if that is a thing. Or should that be an available option? I don't know. I haven't heard much about the Core Fighters since then. I mean, ever since, yeah, they pretty much stopped when they stopped updating the game. And since it's going to be on PS5 and Xbox Series XS, and maybe Switch, who knows, maybe Switch 2, I could imagine faster loading times. And graphics, blah, blah, blah. Nah, graphics looks pretty much the same. Excuse me. It's going to be very interesting, really, when they include more characters from Dead or Alive Venusfication. More ladies, yes. It's like, and it's funny, really, because, you know, the DOA Extreme series has always been like, you know, just fan service the game. But then, when one of the characters actually becomes playable in a fighting game, and it's like, huh, they actually know how to fight. In fact, the character I mentioned, Tamaki, her fighting style is actually, I think it's similar. It's the same, supposedly it's the same style as, Geese Howard. In fact, heck, her uniform, her debut outfit resembles that. there's a name for that. The pants. The pants that Geese Howard wears. And she does know how to do judo flips and such. So yeah, what, you thought all those ladies just knew how to do volleyball and butt battles? Nah, no. Whoa, speed.
반짝반짝. 아, 오리렌이 이렇게 생겼구나.
Nah, of course not. Those ladies, they know what they were getting themselves into. They in a game that's called Dead or Alive, named after a tournament. All right, there's a combat. Wait, hang on, sorry. There's butterflies. Imagine if Konami suddenly brings back Dance Dance Revolution. Hey, if Silent Hill can come back, I think Dance Dance Revolution as well can come back. Heck, I still see some arcade joints that still carry Dance Dance Revolution. But then you have to, but then someone would ask me, do people still play rhythm games? Yes. Quick answer, yes. Lots of, a couple of mobile games and some games on Switch. Switch has a bunch of rhythm games. 2. Uh-oh. Still to this day, I'm waiting on Microsoft to tell us where the heck is Transformers War for Cybertron. Then I guess it should be safe to say that, yeah, no, they were lying. They did lose the game's data. Get rid of one, and the rest will be easy. straight. So far from where we started.
좋은 수학이야.
Even if you are 2 levels ahead of me, I can still do it. Or was it 10 levels? I think it was 10. Ooh, there's another mining spot. And then there's something over there. Alright, it's getting a little late, so should wrap things up. Wait, am I able to get there? No, it's somewhere up. Yeah, it's up there. I can't even climb. And this is a force field, isn't it? Dang. Maybe from out there, yeah. Oh well, just keep going from here. Certainly threw in a lot of collectibles of a sort in this game. Ha! Telling me I can't even pass here. Well, I can get through here. This is a big ass field. Something tells me this is gonna be a factory setting, factory placeholder. As they say, the factory must grow. What is this one? Oh, blue one. I need the blue ore. But something tells me can't do that now. There's no water. Oh yeah, I did see some footages of Dynasty Warriors 3 remastered. And let me tell you, it doesn't look more like a remastered as it looks more of a remake. But oh my god, the only thing but there are some things that do define it as a remastered. Such as the music. If you remember, if you know the soundtrack of Dynasty Warriors 3, yes, it's still there. The Japanese dub will basically reuse the same dubs. The only thing that is new to the dubs is the Chinese dubs. As for the English, that's kind of like questionable, considering that most of the voice actors, I think of some of the voice actors and voice actresses in the original Dynasty Warriors 3 some were credited and I think some were uncredited. So that obviously could lead to possible like licensing issues. Well, then again, I don't know exactly, but I feel like the English dub might actually have to be revoiced, recasted, possibly. Or if not, then the game might just end up just having just Japanese and Chinese dubs. Other than that, though, the gameplay itself, the gameplay definitely is where I would say where it does not define itself as a remastered. It's more of a remake because the gameplay pretty much takes nods, assets from Dynasty Warriors Origins, such as how you're able to do like dodges, side steps, and then there's like an actual, that's deep water, isn't it? There's like some whatchamacallit. You're now able to see the enemies pulling off a Muso attack. Like you can now see a meter. Because back in the old Dynasty Warriors games, or even Dynasty Warriors Origins, it was you couldn't sometimes you couldn't tell if the enemy was going to unleash their Muso attack, and Muso attacks are unblockable. So back in the day, whenever you get caught by one, you're just air juggled over and over until it stops. I guess that's the only thing that's stopping me. Speaking of which, dang. Also, that's where that thing is. So yeah, it's like a mix of both. It's a remastered with a sprinkle hint of it's a remake. And I don't mind it, as long as the nostalgia is real, which it is. I saw the gameplay footage, and I was immediately hit with nostalgia, from the music to the layout of the battlefield. Even the UI pretty much more or less looks almost just like the original, but just kind of like upscaled. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that the game had to be delayed. It was supposed to come out in March, I think. Yeah, it was supposed to come out in March, but then they had to delay it. As of now, there is no new date, and I think I see why. I mean, let's see, Neo just came out this month, and then the next month after that is Fatal Frame 2 Remake. So practically, their Koei Tecmo games are spreading their games per month. They don't want to have like 2 games releasing at the same time. It should be safe to say, though, at least Neo 3 is guaranteed to be profitable. It's already I heard it's already making across the board the Steam charts at a high peak number. And then combine that with PlayStation. Yeah. I think they have nothing to worry about with Neo 3. Fatal Frame, on the other hand, it's a remake of a classic. I am looking forward to it. The good news is that it's not, despite being a remake, it's not a full price game. Unlike Neo, Neo 3, I mean, yeah, to be fair, that's a whole new game. But, yeah. Fatal Frame, not too expensive compared to Neo 3. At least Fatal Frame is multi-platform, so pretty much everybody can enjoy it. But for a remake, I kind of want... I never played the original, but I can imagine... there might be some changes. I mean, the obvious change is that no, it's not a fixed camera game. That's like one obvious.
우리 이따가 다시 와서 천천히 둘러보자.
Buy one and then get the second or half. Hey, I give it to the ladies. Don't worry about me. You know, I never really tried bubble tea. Or maybe haven't had one in a long time. So the taste, I don't know about the taste of today. Is it any good? Only one way to find out. I gotta try it myself. I can't just wildly, blindly guess like a biased person with a biased opinion. No, you won't know until you try.
좋은 수확이야.
All right, last stop. Excuse me, no, 2 stops. Here and here. And then we'll call it a night. Wait, hang on.
우와, 한 아저씨 가게가 이렇게 인기가 많은 줄 몰랐어. 아치! 이 매운 냄새는 아직도 적응이 안 되네.
I know of an Uncle Pan, but it's a bakery place. Oh no, it's called Uncle Sue or something. The food, some of them are kind of in detail. Except for the lack of said food in your bowl. One of these days, we're gonna have a game where it's completely immersive. Where food... What do you sell? Where food is literally on the bowl and the NPCs actually consume it, and the food doesn't just shrink as a means of improvising that it's consumed. In fact, that kind of reminds me. I watched a compilation of all the foods you can eat in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I'm like, huh. So that's how they pack the candies and chocolate. And man, apparently chocolate is cheaper than candy. I thought it was the other way around. But then it hit. But then I remember, I never played Red Dead Redemption, but I do know that if you eat too much food, you actually can get fat, which is pretty much something that is already something people are familiar with, like in GTA. I think GTA San Andreas, you can do the same. You eat too much, you actually can get fat. In fact, yeah, there's even a cheat code where you can make CJ, what's his name? CJ, the main character. You can make him fat. Anyways, yeah, I was like, oh dang, I hope you don't overfill the character too much. But yeah, the food, I'd say that definitely is Rockstar's best take of being very detailed and immersive with their game. It's even more immersive than GTA 5. I mean, to be fair, Red Dead 2 came out after 5, right? Because in 4 though, 4 you were able to eat like burgers and such, right? 5, you don't get food options. You only get snacks and soda, and that's it. It just was backwards. Really weird. 4 had better food animation than options back then. But yeah, going back to Red Dead. Yeah, definitely, I'd say, man, the food looks very scrumptious. The animation, some of them did look pretty good, very immersive, and others were just like, really? John Marston, did you just No, John Marston was the protagonist of the first. Arthur. Arthur, did you just ate? You bought a whole box of chocolate, but you only had one, and it counts as you ate the whole thing. He even ate a whole can of fruits. There's a can of peaches, a can of apples, can of cherry, and I'm like, they put those in cans? And you can even eat plants and flowers. Like, I heard about being vegetarian, but dang, Arthur just takes a raw flower, rips off the leaves, but he eats the whole, like, the flower bud. And then later pukes. Because, yeah, there are some plants that you should not eat. Oh, come on, really? I have to put two because they're so far apart? Well, that's stupid. Wait, that was that placed properly? Sorry, I was rushing. Yeah, no power for now, but I'm just putting it there.
빛나는 것, 어둠을 가릴지니 확인했습니다. 도전 시작. 언제든지 갈 수 있어.
Okay, I can't get across there. But what about there? Can I cross there at least? And then the other food portion animations, yeah, again, they were pretty immersive. And man, the prices were cheap, man. I mean, yeah, as a video game, but I will pretend and just imagine that's how steak, lamb heart, and all the other stews and food were that cheap back in the day. And boy, the portions they give, they look like something that is enough for me to eat. Or maybe I would have seconds, but yeah. They look pretty good. So many food options. You know, and just thinking about all that, I'm like, can GTA 6 even pull that same stunt? Can GTA 6 provide that many food options? Will there be food eating animations? Can you get the main characters, what's his name, Jason and Lucia, fat? Will they bring that back too? Honestly, I would love to see that.
익숙한 느낌이야.
It's like, well, it's time to burn off those fats by running around.
빛나는 것, 어둠을 가릴지니
And that's pretty much, at least GTA 5 had you doing that. You can like sprint, and there's that one moment where, well, it's not only a one-time moment. You can have Michael do yoga. Oh, there's another mining. Oh no. No. I need my exploration level to increase. That's why.
이 녀석들의 상대는 나다. 당신의 세계에서 갈게요. 여기까지야.
Where's the last piece? Oh, there's the last
이
piece.
녀석들의 상대는 나다. 나한테 맡겨. 이건 어때? 괜찮아, 감히? 여기까지야. 덤벼. 인원 결손 없음. 하, 훌륭한 전투였습니다. 엔드필드는
I'm doing that again. I just said after I visit the two spots, that will be it. But I keep bumping it. I'm running into all these encounters.
축복이 대지예요.
Okay, hold on. I know if I start a fight right there, I'm gonna attract unwanted attention from these folks.
연속 공격. 서약의 화약. 끊어야 할 때 결연히. 연속 공격.
Oh yeah, today was Jason's day. And yet I didn't see a single tweet about of Friday the 13th. Disappointing. Not even from the official Dead by Daylight. How could they do that to Jason? And then literally the next day is Valentine's. Or for some other people's cases like me, Single Awareness Day. Yeah, don't forget there are some single folks out there. What? Oh no, I think I pushed him too far. Nah, this is not the same one.
두 번의 기회는 없어. 엔드필드는 또 한 걸음 앞으로 나아갔어. 잘했어.
There's a robot that needs fixing. There's another mining spot. And there's another... Oh, so I can explore that section. Okay, well I already made it this far, but I'll just do that in my own time. I'll fix robot, find that one missing key I was in the middle of doing.
이건 어때? 나한테 맡겨. 제 기도가 하늘에
At least that one was straightforward. Okay, before that, there was... Oh, look at that, he respawned. Oh wait, no, I already opened that chest.
위협적인 목표 발견. 경계를 유지하십시오.
No, I'm gonna finish what I started. Too bad he just had to reset his HP.
여기까지야. 받아라.
That's fine.
완료. 일단 광명은 계속될 것이다. 받아라. 됐어. 연속 공격.
훌륭한 작전이었습니다.
이쁘게 생각해. 이건 어때? 여기 폭풍 왜? 후회는 없어.
Denied.
진리가 우리를 보살펴 주신 거예요.
Alright, you birds, you herons, what are you trying to... What are you doing here? 2. Is it the frogs again? Oh, even worse. Oh, well, one of them is the frog. Frog! Frog! Oh, this one I can flinch. Wow. Another happy landing. And there's a fast travel, and then there's, what is this thing again? Depot node, where you get to make some deliveries. And then there's something over here. Stash. Put it away, put it away, put it away. Anything else? No, that's it. Get some free rewards for just collecting stuff. In any game where there's a notification, I quickly unnotify that one. Or make it clear so it doesn't bother me. Oh. Alright. I guess that'll be it for now. Yeah. So, this week has been a good one, at least for, well, pretty much anything in general. State of play, like I said, it was 8 out of 10. Pretty good presentation. And let's see. Actually, hold on. Is it true? Is there a leak? No, that was a partner showcase, I know. No. Well, no, just a bunch of rumors, hopes and dreams. But then people are saying there's another Nintendo Direct next week and it's a general one. Or are these like videos that just no, it says some videos are posted a day before. I mean, yesterday. Well, we'll see. And you gotta love the stupid AI thumbnail videos. Like, I can tell some thumbnail. It's easy to tell which thumbnails are just made with AI. Anyways, yeah, if it's true that, I mean, again, it's just a rumor. Some folks are now claiming that there's gonna be a Nintendo Direct next week. And you know, I guess it's not out of the question. I mean, remember the other Nintendo Direct we had was a partner showcase. Xbox had theirs, and practically it was like, well, I wouldn't say first party, but it kind of was, especially with Fable. State of Play, yeah, you already saw that. There was a lot of first party and third party combined. So now that Nintendo did their partner showcase, basically it was just, hey, here's all these third parties coming to Switch 1 and 2. But now, I don't think it's far-fetched that a Nintendo first Direct that focuses mostly on its first parties could be a thing sooner than expected. What I'm trying to get at is Xbox did theirs, PlayStation did theirs. That partner showcase doesn't count because that was all third party. So now Nintendo, they have to do their part too. Especially the fact that you also have to remember that these showcase, these directs and such, they're not just there. They don't exist to impress us. It's also a showcase for the investors. Yeah, like E3. E3 wasn't a show just to talk about or reveal games. Because, you know, you have to remember what kind of people attend to those events. It's not like PAX or I guess Summer Game Fest as well. It's a convention showcase for business people. Why do you think? I mean, yeah, you do see random people, tourists that do go at E3 and play the games, but most of the time, most of the attendees are people who wear, you know, suits. Why? It's business people who back in the day wanted to see what their competitors are making. And then in this case, you know, since E3 is no longer a thing, it's no different. Presentations, directs, showcase, state of play, whatever you want to call it. It may be for us, for the most part, for gamers like us, we want to look forward to announcements and such, game reveals. But to investors, they also want to see what games are coming out and what is the aim. Like, is this going to, it's like they know this game is coming out and it has a release date or so. And is it going to impress the consumers? That's what they're there for. Like, I'm sure they could watch people's reactions on YouTube. That's a good impression. That's a good start on the investor's perspective when they see that. But at the same time, yeah, it's not about us. Sometimes it's not only about us. It's also about the investors, the shareholders, the people who only care about the money. Well, hey, investors, if you want money to come in, well, that's where the game developers have to do their job to simply make a game. A good one that actually meets the demands, the interests of gamers, real gamers. Because, you know, we are the real demographic target, not the moms and dads, unless the moms and dad in questions are gamers like us, like they know their stuff. Heck, I know a grandma on YouTube. I think her channel was like food for dogs. You know what she has? She has a bunch of JRPG games. She even buys Japanese imports. She bought, and I know her because she bought all the Atelier games, and even talks about them like she knows it. She knows it better than I do. Anyways, yeah. So it's fair to say that Nintendo, if there is a general direct, yeah, then don't be surprised if they suddenly announce it next week or something. Because when it happens, it happens. Then we know at least we're getting something good. We're getting some first parties, more reasons to buy a Switch 2 or solidify your purchase of a Switch 2. And then meanwhile, investors will be like, okay, you got a new that new Yoshi game coming out. Oh, Smash Brothers. Okay, that's a guaranteed success. But we want to see the end game results. Remember, investors don't work for those companies. They're just, you know, those who are just interested in the company. Or, I don't know how to say it, but yeah. And yeah, speaking of investors, Microsoft's investors are not too pleased. In fact, they want the AI bubble to burst soon. And Microsoft still hasn't figured out why they're losing millions. And it's not just the lack of console sales. It's, yeah, AI. Oh, look at that. Now my algorithm shows why Dead or Alive 6 failed. Oh, yeah, thanks, YouTube algorithm. You really know what I'm into. Anyway, so yeah, tomorrow, if I can, I might stream. Excuse me. If not, then whenever, sometime next week. And hopefully the next time I stream, I better be in the mood for some Dead or Alive 5 or 6 or both. We'll see. Maybe I'll start with 5, and then if I'm up to 6, then I will switch to that. But yeah, we'll see. And yeah, I think that's it. There's like nothing coming up next week, right? We just had our Genshin special program today. It'll be a long time for ZZZ because they rolled out their update not too long ago. And Resident Evil comes out in 2 weeks. I'm a little inclined really to buy it on day one, but I've already spent so much on Neo 3, so might as well just wait it out. And then Fatal Frame 2 Remake comes out next month. I think I would rather buy that than Resident Evil 9. It's a little cheaper. But hopefully there will be a demo of RE9. Yeah, I want to know how it feels. Because part of me, whenever I see the Leon gameplay footages, it looks slower, a little like 5% slower compared to 4. At least that's what it kind of looks like. I'm curious really if there's an upgrade system, cuz how would Leon and Grace be able to upgrade stuff when there's, you know, no shop or anything? No merchant. Or maybe it's like RE7 where you have to search for an items to upgrade your stuff. Yeah, like the repair kit, you repair the pistol and the shotgun. Or the antique coin thing, which I never even bothered collecting all of them. I was never able to get that one magnum. Alright, so with that, I will then see you guys in the next stream. You folks have a good day and a good night. See ya, folks.